I want you to start seeing something bigger. I know you're all successful. I'm talking about something really big for your life. And in order to do that, you have to answer this question. What do you really want? Now, I'm not talking about something small. I'm not talking about a little haiku. I'm not talking about renovating your kitchen. I'm not talking about signing on 10 new customers this month. I'm talking about what you really want. You know, 3 years ago, I was a lawyer and a business coach working with private clients and big corporations all over the country. And I came to a seminar, just like this one, a big leadership seminar, and I went there with my husband. We're both business owners, and I went because I wanted to be more successful. And I went because I wanted to make even more money than I already did. And I was sitting exactly where you are. In fact, I was sitting about, I don't know, 15 rows back, right where that woman with her hand on her thing, like, you? Yeah, she's like, hi. Was sitting, and I was taking notes, and I'm like, okay, I'm here to make more money. And then all of a sudden, she walked on stage. That is Martha Beck. She writes a column for Oprah Winfrey. She travels around the country speaking. She's a best-selling author. And when she walked on stage, I literally stopped listening. Please keep listening to me right now. And it hit me. I said, I want to be doing that. I'm ready for a bigger stage. Like, that's it. And what's so interesting about when you answer that question is that you don't answer it up here. You answer it here. That's how you see something bigger for yourself. You know, you guys are really cute because everybody's like, I don't see it. I don't see anything for myself right now. Now I'm just confused. I thought I knew what I wanted. You know, and now, Mel, I'm not really sure. And right now, the economy is so bad. I mean, it's so bad that even if you're successful, I know sometimes I feel embarrassed talking about my success around some of my friends because I know that they're really struggling. And I get calls every day into the radio show, people saying, oh, I've got this great idea, but I just don't know if it's the right time. And you know what I say to them? I say, yeah, you know, you're right. The recession, it's huge. You should wait. Those dreams, yeah, put them on hold. That's right. Yeah, you should stay in that job you can't stand just a little bit longer. You get college bills to pay. I mean, you know, what you're doing, it's fine. You're busy, right? That guy you're dating, he's good enough for you. But for the people in this room, baloney. You know, that's right. You know exactly what you want. And the only thing that you need to do is to admit it. Now, this may sound weird because I know most of you came in here because you're like, I know what I want. I'm here at success. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm talking about something bigger, much bigger. I'll admit to you what it is that I'm up to. And the truth is, it's embarrassing. Because when you lock on to something way bigger than where you're at, it is downright embarrassing to tell people. Because you're not there yet. But I mean, at this rate, I've already admitted to you that I stalked Martha Beck and that I brought a haiku to the best, you know, lit agent in the country, so I got nothing to lose at this point. So this is what I want. Well, not him. I'm married. I want what he's got. I want 600 radio stations. I want 2 million listeners. And I could certainly deal with the $400 million salary. In fact, if I got it, I'd renovate everybody's kitchen. And you know, the thing is, though, that's so interesting about this is that I didn't pick him. I mean, I'm not looking to become a cigar-smoking, conservative, political guy that like stirs the pot and makes everybody all mad. I'm the liberal lifestyle gal that's trying to help people out. But what I want to do is I want to use radio to entertain people and help them achieve their dreams. And when I really think about it, he's the one that's in the front. I want to not only reach what he's doing, I want to surpass him. I mean, do you think I like it when my friends come over to my office in Boston at my house and they're like, what is that guy doing on your board? No, it's embarrassing. When you admit the big thing that you're up to, it's embarrassing. I have 40 stations. He's got 600. There's a big gap. So admitting where you want to get to is embarrassing, but you got to do it.
So tell us about your business.
Oh my gosh. Right. Here's a lady who has in the past self-sabotaged, you name it, got distractions. Lots of distractions while building, whilst knowing that I really wanted to create something for myself, for my family, and whānau, and to be of absolute service, but in a different way. I've been a teacher for 38 years. I'm in my 4th year as an advisor to Māori medium schools. Love my job, which is joy of being, because I can be who I be. Now I go into schools and I sprinkle my little fairy dust, help teachers teach through the medium Māori language, and then like all care and no responsibility, right? Been there, done that. I'm over that, especially with the climate. Now, having what's called hybrid learning now, with working with students and teachers online, and some face-to-face contact, and I love that. Right, business. I wrote, thank you so much to the previous beautiful wahine ladies who have shared before, and I'm furiously writing. Oh, okay, here's one for you, Mel. How do I pop all my talent, skills, my energy, my little Mediana magic here? I have got pages on Facebook. I've got Hot Hula Fitness, Law of Attraction New Zealand, Older Smolder, because I have this thing about I'm in my 64th year, I'm starting a bloody business. It's like, shit, where do I go after having been in a structured system where a bell tells you where to go to the next class and all of that? How do I do this? I'm doing this on my own. So carrying on, Mist Maiden Coaching Solutions, Mist Maiden, and you talk about names like, yeah, I don't know, would people remember Mediana Tapatu Coaching? I have no idea. I'm going to have a play with that. So I am a coach, a life coach. I've been studying. I'm the forever student. I've been studying whilst working full time. I'm a celebrant. I do body work. I'm a massage therapist. And yes, and I've been practicing on my whānau, on my teachers, all of this stuff.
Let me ask you a question, because I think you're amazing.
Thank you.
And I also think that you are a multi-passionate person. And you would probably not be happy if you tried to just put yourself in a singular lane.
Oh, right.
Yep. And so I just want to try to parse through some of this so that I can offer some clarity as to what the next right step is. When you say you're done with all that in terms of working in the schools, are you retiring? Are you leaving that job? Or are you just tired of it?
I love my job.
Okay.
I so am not thinking of retiring.
Okay.
Yeah. However, I feel that the time that I spent working full time, I really just want to be able to be to make a difference in people's lives. Okay. So, and just devote my time to that. I'm just done with working for the government. I'm grateful for the salary that I get. That's what I'm done with, because the constraints, the compliances that I see principals of schools are under, who are also putting pressure on teachers now in classrooms.
But you're going to stay in that job, right?
I'm going to stay in the job of going into, that's what I'm doing now. I go in and help the teachers. And you know what? They say, Miniana, can you come and help me do a reading lesson, say? We end up talking about their lives and how they be with their children. And we've done nothing about reading. That's what
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. So here's what I want to tell you. First of all, you're already making a difference. Everywhere you go, you make a difference. The question is, because you're so lovely, what do you actually want to use B School for? What are you frustrated by? What do you want to launch?
I've got amazing content in all those areas that I am passionate about. I'm scared of the systems. I think I read in my question, the emailing, the funnels, the platforms, and I have to admit, I still have this thing about age, because I see all these young things, 30 plus, 40 plus, doing it, doing what I want to do. And I go, no, Minnie, understand your job. Shit, you're too old,
That's a bunch of horse shit. I mean, so here's the thing.
I know that too, right?
Here's the thing. Stop. Here, I'm going to simplify this for you. You can't do all that stuff at once. Mm-hmm. You should continue doing what you do in schools because you're amazing at it. They need you. It lights you up. You come alive when you talk about it. And acknowledge that that's a place where you go to make an impact, because you do. Those kids feel seen by you. What I want you to do is this. I want you to pick one social media platform. Just one. What social media platform? Because you say content. The easiest way to publish content is to do it on a social media platform. And people that are interested in that kind of content will find you. And this is a huge thing I want everybody to hear me say. Your social media platform, it is not for your friends. It is not for your family. Your social media platform is a form of your self-expression. And the faster that you give yourself permission to be your full self on social media and post what you're thinking and what you like and what you want to talk about without giving a shit about what anybody in your family or your friend group thinks, the faster you look at your social media as a form of self-expression. You are all artists. The way that you think is a form of art. The videos that you would put up, a form of art. The blog posts that you write, a form of art. Do not be editing yourself. And I think that you've got so much that you're interested in. The only thing that I want to give you in terms of an organizing principle, because I don't want all this spinning up here. I want you to have an outlet for it. I want you to create a social media channel, whether it's your name or it's just, and you're going to start with one follower or however many followers you have, and just put out a piece of content every day. One day it could be about life coaching. The next day it could be the muffins you're baking. The next day it could be you in the front seat of your car having just come out of the class and you're sitting there and you're like, I just had the best session with these kids. I was supposed to teach them this. You know what we talked about? We talked about how important it is to wear what you want to wear to school and not worry. And I think we adults need this message too. Like you're frustrated because you have this enormous capacity to share because you are an artist. That's what you are. And you are trying to figure out where to aim it. And I'm telling you, if you were to just create a system of every day, I'm going to give myself permission to say whatever the hell I want to say about whatever I want to to say it about. I don't care if my friends unfollow me. I don't care if my family doesn't. And I don't care what the 30-year-olds are saying. That's what I'm going to do. And I would pick the simplest platform, just the one that calls to you. If TikTok calls to you, do that one. If Instagram calls to you, do that one. There is no right platform. The only thing that's right is you picking what feels right for you, because that's going to get you started. See, I think you have a bottleneck.
Yeah, I have one. And in this, since I signed up for B School, I've changed its name, Miss Maiden Coaching. And
Great.
I've had that for a few years, but I've been posting other people's quotes, feel good stuff, roomy.
Here's what I want you to do. You ready? This is going to push you right over the edge. You ready?
Great, I'm ready.
Do you follow, I want you to follow, oh shit, what's her name? She's so amazing. Tabitha Brown. Do you follow Tabitha Brown?
No.
Okay. Follow Tabitha Brown on Instagram. And I want you to go back like a year or two. Tabitha Brown was a struggling actress, and she went viral because she's vegan, and she got a vegan like egg wrap or something at Whole Foods, and she literally is eating it in the front seat of her car. And I'm sure we can find the link to it. And like basically has almost like a verbal orgasm over this vegan thing. And the internet goes nuts because she's just being herself. And as more and more people followed her, she started just going online, live on Instagram, and being like, hi, guys, like just talking to them the way that you would talk to your kids. And I think that, yeah, you can post other people's quotes all you want, go for it. But I think you'll have a huge breakthrough and people will really find you if you just turn that camera on live on Instagram and you see what happens.
Share. During our first COVID 2020, I was called to do 3-minute lives on my Facebook page. I called them, now listen to this, ladies, 3-minute quick ease with Mediana. Say quick ease really fast.
Quickie, like a quickie?
3-minute quickies with Mediana. Each day I would post a thought, because I really felt the energy of heaviness, anger, frustration throughout.
Wait, you need to do that again.
Yeah, I get that. I'll do that again. And there'll be.
No, I think you need to do that every single day for a year.
Do that. Thank you.
And I'm going to tell you why. You're going to continue to spin unless you create a little simple discipline and rhythm to your week.
Yes.
And you're going to continue to jump from one thing to the next, and that's okay. You can jump from one thing to the next in the post content. But literally for a year, until the end of this year, I want you to commit to posting something from the heart, whatever you're called to say. And that's the only system I want you to manage. And something extraordinary will come forward if you do that.
Yeah, that already I feel at ease.
Why?
It's the clarity and just doing one thing, Mediana, at a time, and doing that consistently. It's like I
That's
really
it.
have
Make it easy.
got a very good relationship with this thing.
Make it easy. Once a day, post what you're thinking. Got it?
Got it. Thank you so much.
Good.
My name's Amber Parsons. I homeschool my children.
Yep.
And I want to, I also run a ceramic business, but I want to go into mental health and create an art therapy program.
Great. Here's what I love about you. Could you tell, as she was sharing that with us, that you were unsure about that?
Yeah. I'm really sure about what I want to do.
Yeah.
But it's like putting the words together to tell other people it.
What is the block?
I don't know exactly. Actually, the block for me getting there, I think, is I'm afraid, like, I just found out I have ADHD this year.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, but it's really relieving to find out that you have it.
Anybody else been diagnosed? Great, I'll speak about this in a minute. Okay, go ahead.
But my habits of my ADHD brain totally stop me sometimes.
Okay.
Get right in my way.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I think it's something deeper.
It's probably something deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that there's probably some mix, and I'm only saying this because you are homeschooling, so you're very dedicated to your kids and nurturing them, that there's probably some mix of it would be selfish or something, it would impact them negatively.
I want to do it I don't want to give up homeschooling.
Okay.
I think
nobody said you had to.
Right, exactly. But it's like trying to figure out, well, maybe convincing other people that I could do that.
Why do you have to convince anybody else?
I don't.
So how many of you are relating to this right now? That as everybody's kind of sharing what they're wanting and what they're struggling with, you see yourself. There's only one person that needs to feel inspired and convinced, and it's you. And you could take 11 years to do this because you could find a certification online. My husband got an MBA in 7 years. He went to one class a semester when we had young kids. And because that's all we could afford. And that's all we had time for, with both of us working and having young kids. There's a million paths to getting what you want. You just have to find the confidence to be able to start and to say, this is what I'm doing. Doesn't matter if it takes a year, 10 years, 20 years, this is what I'm doing. And I'll tell you another reason to do it. Your kids learn by your example, not by your words. And so if you want your daughters and your sons or your kids that identify in any range of the spectrum to pursue their dreams and be themselves, you have to show them what that looks like. And so if mom is taking a Thursday night to go to an online course, you are demonstrating what it looks like to prioritize time for your dreams. You're demonstrating what it looks like to have values that align with your actions. And that will seep into the pores of your children. And so you're the only person that needs convincing.
Yeah.
Is there another layer to this that you see?
My husband probably wouldn't be on board with it.
Wouldn't?
I don't think so.
Why?
Because he's already successful.
So?
Yeah, I don't know.
Have you asked him?
Yeah.
And what did he say?
No.
Why? Why?
Because how would I homeschool the kids?
Well, you will show him how you're going to do it.
I do. I actually secretly under the table already look at it deeply, and that's how I know I'm gonna do it.
Right?
But yeah, just like do it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think that's important, but I think the bigger issue is, why should you be supporting his dreams if he's not supporting yours?
That's true. Yeah.
No, I'm serious.
No,
I'm serious. You clearly have something that would make you come alive. He has a fear.
yeah, not having control of all the things.
Maybe. Maybe he has a fear of losing you.
That's
Maybe he has a fear that the way that things are working, it's all going to fall apart. Maybe he thinks like everything has to happen like this, so he doesn't understand you're talking one class for 5 years on a Thursday night. But at some point, this also requires you to own your own happiness, because he's not responsible for it, you are. He's not responsible for your dreams, you are. And he's not responsible for getting on board with this. You're the one that needs to create the permission and then enroll people around you.
Yeah,
He doesn't get to choose, by the way.
that's true.
I'm serious,
I know that deep down inside.
right?
Yeah.
So my concern is this, that when we don't have these conversations about the bigger issues of fear and control and my dreams, and that there's a way to do both, we end up doing things that feel sneaky and undermine trust. And so it's important that where you see that you can't be your authentic self,
you start to have those conversations, because I want you to grow in your relationship. And there's a way for you to do that, even with somebody who's scared of you growing. But you have to be the one that leads the way. Okay?
All right.
I know it scares the hell out of you. Let me have this. Great job, by the way. You'll get the day where you celebrate, and that was yesterday. And you'll have that moment where you cannot believe that you actually got into the school that you wanted, or you got the job that you wanted, or you found the person that really compliments you finally, or that you got the raise that you wanted, or you built the house that you've always dreamt of. And then a funny thing happens after you actually achieve the dream. After you celebrate, life goes right back to the way that it was. And for me, what I'm present to is not the fact that this talk show is actually happening. I'm focused on all the work that I now need to do in order to do the talk show as powerfully as I can. And I think that the point that I'm trying to make about the fact that, yeah, you can achieve all the things that you're going for, but I've even noticed already in just 24 hours, like the crazy rise in emotion and excitement has already been replaced with things are back to normal. That is exactly what psychologists talk about when it comes to happiness, because happiness is not about achieving things. It's not about getting the result. It's about how you pursue the things that you enjoy and why you're pursuing them. And so the key to life, and I'm seeing it happen in my own life, is not actually checking the boxes and getting all those things that you dream about. It's how you go about living your life as you're pursuing them. Because if I were just gonna boop, check the box and now I'm done, biggest goal of my life to have a daytime talk show, just achieve that, boop, what do I have to look forward to? Nothing if you've already achieved it, which is why it's so important for you to understand that the real meaning of happiness is about how you show up every day. Yes, you should have big goals. Yes, you should have big dreams. Yes, 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 and yes, you should pursue them. But don't ever think that, quote, making your dreams come true is what actually makes you happy. Because what actually makes you happy is having those big dreams and waking up every morning and doing a little something to push yourself to make them happen. It's about the pursuit. From Diego, I have a dream of opening my own restaurant, but I'm terrified to start. How many of you have ever thought about opening up a restaurant or starting a small business or having some kind of side hustle? It doesn't have to be a restaurant. Give me a thumbs up or a heart or something if you have a dream of launching something of your own. You're not alone, by the way. In fact, for the first time in history, when the Pew Research Center did this study about the American dream, and I realize we have a huge international audience, but at least in the United States, the American dream used to be, I really dream of owning my own home. Do you know what the American dream is now for the majority of people? It's, I want to own my own business. And so whether you're interested in launching a restaurant or you would love to have a business of any size, shape, or form in any vertical that you can think of, this is a question that you need to pay attention to, okay? Because I know this is also impacting you. I'm terrified to start. I know I have the potential to be really successful, but I just can't get myself to actually do something about it. You know, sometimes when the dream is so big, the fact that it's so big becomes paralyzing, because you think about where you are right now and you think, holy cow, that thing that I really want, how do you even start when the dream is so big? So here's what we're going to do today. We're going to shrink it down, because you know me, I am all about simplicity. I'm all about making sure that the advice works for you, because if it doesn't work for you, you're not going to do it. And I'm all about switching how you think about things. So Diego, first of all, I don't want you to think about opening a restaurant. I don't want you to think about launching that business, because that's something that will happen a year from now. What I want you to think about is I want you to shrink your thinking. I want you to think about researching a restaurant. I want you to think about preparing to launch a restaurant. I want you to think about learning about launching a restaurant. Do you see how just saying I want to learn about launching a restaurant changes how you feel versus I'm launching a restaurant, which feels so big. You're just in a phase where you're learning and researching this idea, which all of a sudden takes all the pressure off, doesn't it? Awesome. So that's number one. Let's shrink it. Let's not talk about launching it. Let's not talk about building it. Let's talk about researching and learning about it, okay? So that takes the pressure off. Then the next thing that I want you to do is I want you to focus on something that I talk about all the time. If you're researching and learning about launching a restaurant or a business, all I want you to do, Professor Mel has an assignment for you. I want you to find 10 to 15 minutes. That's it. That's all it takes. 10 to 15 minutes. And I want you to do one thing for 10 or 15 minutes a day that helps you learn or research about the idea of launching a restaurant. How many of you are starting to feel a little bit lighter? How many of you are starting to feel like, holy cow, thinking about it that way, I actually could get started today? Making this smaller and making it something that I'm learning about rather than doing and launching and that somehow thinking about it differently frees up the ability to get started. Amazing. I'm so happy that that is working for you. So I want you to do one small thing a day. So what could you do? You could read an article about somebody that launched a first-time restaurant. You could look online for 10 to 15 minutes for a local restaurant networking event. You could search YouTube and you could look for videos that are restaurant tutorial opening things. You could go to Barnes & Noble or your local library and find a book. You could apply for a job on the weekends and work in a restaurant if you've never worked in a restaurant to see how it feels. Because what are you doing? You're not launching or building a restaurant yet. You're learning about it and you're researching it. And your job as a student of this subject is to do something every day for 10 or 15 minutes in order to learn or research it. That's it. That's all I want you to do, because here's what I know. If I get you to start doing that and you do this every day for 10 or 15 minutes, which you absolutely can, guess what's going to happen? You're going to feel momentum. You're going to feel like you're working on it. You're going to meet people that are interested in it. You're going to learn things that are going to lead to the next thing that you need to learn. And you will have mastered the art of getting started. And by doing something a little bit every day, you're also going to master the art of continuing to keep going. And from there, it'll snowball. I promise you. I promise you. As you meet people, the next thing you'll do would be to learn more from them. As you read and watch tutorials about people that have started restaurants, as you watch television programming about it, you're going to feel more inspired. You're going to start to see, I think I can do this. That's going to lead to the next thing. Trust me when I say it's all about the little progress you make every day. So let me recap. If you, like Diego, have a dream of launching a business or starting something big, but you can't even seem to begin, I want you to stop talking about launching it and building it, and I want you to shrink it back to I'm learning about it and researching it. That's number one. Number two, 10 to 15 minutes a day, you are a student of this subject. That's it. Get yourself a notebook where you keep all your notes. Get yourself organized like you would as a student. And find one thing you can do every single day that teaches you a little bit something about this subject that you're really interested in. And trust me, it'll all happen just by doing that. Researchers found that people, by the way, who are making progress towards their goals every single day and learning something new about something that you're interested in launching or building is progress. That's how you do it. And another thing that I would recommend is there's an incredible podcast called How I Built This, which is all interviews with entrepreneurs of some of the most amazing products and brands. And it's the backstory of how people did it. And what you're going to learn is before they launched it and built it, they became a student of it. They researched it. They learned something every single day, which is exactly what you're going to do to get started, because that's exactly what the greats do in order to get started. It's more important to get it done than to make it perfect. And when we do live streams like Coffee Talk in a way that actually works, which would mean somebody would be here supporting me, Oftentimes we don't get them done because we're always on the move. And so this morning I'm doing it solo. This is certainly not perfect. It's not the way I like to do it. Clearly, if I'm in my PJs and we got people running around and I can't even find my coffee and I don't have anything printed out and I'm not even organized, but we're getting it done. And I think it's important for you to see that even, that especially those of us that are out there in the world doing big things, that one of the reasons why we're able to do big things is because we have trained ourselves to just push forward even when things are not the way that you want them to be going, to keep your cool, to roll with the punches even when you don't have the support that you need. And so, I had something happen yesterday. I was in the middle of giving a speech. So imagine this, you're on stage, you are 20 minutes into your speech, you have 40 more minutes to go, you have 30 more slides to go to, which is what was happening at that point. And all of a sudden, my laptop dies. I mean, just blank, you guys. So I've got an entire audience. I'm through the first third of my speech. I have 2/3 of the speech to go, and my speech is a story that has a ton of videos and photos in it. And my laptop died. And what had happened is the AV team had plugged the laptop into a podium that had no power in it. So my laptop was set up correctly. It was plugged in, but it was plugged into something that had absolutely no power source. So over the course of the hour before the tech check to when I was on the stage, the laptop had run out of juice. And so all of a sudden, here I am, completely cold laptop. I just, had this moment where I thought, the first thing in my mind was, holy cow, what am I going to do for the next 40 minutes? And I could feel my stomach start to go crazy and the butterflies to kick in. And it just, wow. I was extremely panicked for about a second. And then I was like, okay, use the tools. Don't get nervous, get excited, because you can show everybody what it looks like in front of a live audience to have a massive technical breakdown and not lose your cool. And so I made a joke about it. The AV team ran up. I said, look, you guys have no power here, so take it back there, get it plugged in, and I'll talk for 2 or 3 minutes while you get this thing set up. Now, meanwhile, I'm thinking, while I'm talking to a live audience, what if they don't get this set up? What am I going to do? How am I going to fill the 40 minutes when the whole speech is not only anchored in the story, but it's anchored in all of these photographs and proof of people's stories from around the world? And so I'm like, don't panic, use the tools, Mel. And then all of a sudden the guy shouts out, what's your password? Because my screen was locked. So then I thought, okay, we're going to get this done, not a problem. It took about 5 minutes for things to get back up and running, and it was one of the longer 5-minute periods of my life, but I got through it. And one of the reasons why I got through it is because I've trained myself to roll with the punches. That's what I've trained myself to do. But what will really change your life is if you can get to a place where you can see or believe that someday you will understand why this is a blessing. Someday you will understand why this happened.
It just doesn't feel that way.
No, it doesn't. And one of
Yeah.
the reasons why it doesn't feel that way is because you're constantly telling yourself it shouldn't be this way.
Right. Well, I'm trying to get back to. I'm
You're
trying to
not-
get back to me.
But
You know what I mean?
you are right here. You are you with a brain that has trouble remembering.
Right.
That'd be like me saying, I'd like to go back to the pre-menopause. No. It's not happening.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so, please, work on this mental space of saying to yourself, I want you to stop wishing things could be different. Doesn't mean that you deserve this. But acceptance and saying, this is the way that my brain is. And now I have an opportunity to embrace that, to be compassionate with myself. I'm actually very proud of you. You have systems, you have no alerts, you have no Post-it notes that allow your mind to work.
That has really helped. It does. The systems
Yes.
have helped me tremendously.
Yes, and I also think there's a bigger impact for you to make because there are other people that have experienced what you're experiencing and you're further down the road than they are. And so maybe what you're going to discover is that you learn something about yourself when you're more compassionate and you're more open that this has happened. Like there's no reason why in sales meetings you can't be like, no, I just want everyone to know I was in a car accident and I've got this thing with my memory. So if I forget something, I'm looking at my notes because that, isn't working real. And people are like, oh, wow, that happened to my sister. Like just accept where it is, be forgiving and compassionate with yourself as you move forward, and believe that this is all happening for a reason and something amazing is in store for you.
I appreciate that.
I mean it. I believe it.
It's
Because
just convincing myself now.
well, every day write about
right.
it in a journal.
I agree.
Because what you're convincing yourself is there's something wrong with me and I got to get back to how I was. And if I don't do that, I'm broken and I'm never going to be successful and I'm not going to be happy. And when that's what's in your head.
Exactly the conversation. Exactly.
So tell me the opposite of that conversation. I want to hear it come out of your mouth.
I don't even know because it's been playing so many times. I mean, to me, it's like trying to ignore the new person and trying to get back over there.
No, we got to ignore the old person. You got to decide who you're going to be now. Okay? So repeat after me.
Okay.
I am going to stop wishing
I'm going to stop wishing
this brain injury didn't happen.
this brain injury didn't happen.
I'm going to stop wishing the accident didn't happen.
I'm going to stop wishing the accident didn't happen.
I am going to accept my mind
I am going to accept my mind
and I'm going to move forward.
and I'm going to move forward.
And I'm going to be a rock star
And I'm going to be a rock star.
and I'm going to be happy.
And I am happy. That's one thing.
Great.
It's like, and I'm going to be happy and I am happy.
And I'm going to enjoy my life.
And I'm going to enjoy
And
my
the
life.
faster I accept that the accident happened
The faster I accept the accident happened
and I stop wishing that it hadn't,
and stop wishing that it hadn't.
I can look out the windshield of my car, not the rearview mirror.
I can look out the windshield, not the rear view mirror.
Every time you fight this accident and you fight and you tell yourself you need to go back, you're looking in the rearview mirror.
Wow, okay.
What did you just get?
No, it's true because it's like I'm not here. I'm back there where it happened. I feel like I died back there.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
But you didn't. You didn't. You have a huge, amazing, beautiful life to live.
Thank you.
So every time you catch yourself looking back, I want you to catch it and go, oh, there I go again. No, I'm going to look out the windshield because that's the way you're going. I'm going to look at the road ahead because that's the road that you're going to travel. And I'm going to be damned if I'm not happy and successful and having fun, with or without my Post-it notes in my memory. You're
Yeah,
still.
Post-its everywhere.
See, here's the thing: you didn't die. You survived because you were meant to. And if you survived, it's because you're supposed to be here. And
I do believe that.
great, then prove it. Then prove it.
Okay.
Prove it by being happy. Prove it by looking ahead. Okay?
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for the advice. I appreciate it.
What we're going to talk a lot about today is we're going to talk about this principle that I believe. And the principle is this: profound personal and professional change starts with you. That's right. Profound personal and professional change starts with you. And change starts with you because the most effective change starts from the inside out, okay? And so as you think about a behavior change or a thinking pattern change that you want to make, or some sort of goal or dream, I want you to take everything that I'm about to teach you and have that example in mind, okay? So that everything that I'm talking about isn't just stuff I'm doing in my life, isn't just stuff that you read about when you look at the research in terms of habits and manifesting, but that you actually walk away with takeaway that is specific to what you want to achieve, okay? So good. So you've dreamed with the lid off. You've written it into the comments. Now, let's start by letting me give you a hack. I'm going to share with you something that I'm working on right now, okay? So one of the things that I want to do is I want to drink less in my life. I have a habit, and I've had a habit for decades, of around 6 o'clock when I start cooking dinner, I typically will pour myself a drink. It's something that I enjoy. It's something that I do as a ritual to kind of end the workday and ease into being, in the more personal part of my life. And as I've gotten older, as I've started to understand more about my health, I thought, I actually don't want to be doing that every night. And so I would make this sort of promise to myself that I wouldn't have a drink, and then 6:30 would roll around, and next thing you know, I am mindlessly walking over to the cabinet where the gin is, and I'm making a gin and tonic. And it's not that I feel that I have a problem. It's that I was having a problem getting a new habit to stick. And so here is one hack that is based in science that is going to help you make any new habit stick. And yes, this is relating to manifesting. But what is this little hack? Well, this little hack is something that taps into what's called your procedural memory, okay? And let me tell you how you use the hack. So with that thing, that behavior change, I saw some of you writing down that you want to make more money, you want to stop procrastinating, you want health goals. Here is a hack that you can use using your procedural memory to make a new habit stick. All you have to do is you need to close your eyes and picture yourself step by step by step, practicing the new behavior or thinking pattern. So in my case, this is what it looks like. I close my eyes and I think, okay, I'm in the kitchen. I turn to my left and I can see the red clock and I visualize it saying 6:30. I feel the pull of the cabinet where the gin is, but I picture myself walking over to where the glasses are instead. And then I take a glass and then I picture myself walking over to the fridge, and then I open up the fridge, and then I reach for the kombucha, and then I pull it out, and I grab a lime, and then I grab a soda water, I shut the fridge, and then I pour a kombucha, I pour a little soda water, I take the peeler, I peel the lime, so I get that neat little lime strip, and I see it twisting, and I see the little kind of, like when you twist citrus, it sort of like sprays that little stuff. And then I drop it into the glass and I see myself picking it up and I see myself sipping my mocktail. I don't even want the gin. This tastes delicious. You want to know something fascinating? Research that has been peer-reviewed shows that simply going through that procedure of the new habit or thinking pattern, step by step by step, by going step by step by step, you are locking in a new sequence in your procedural memory. And based on research, that one time that you do it makes it way more likely that when 6:30 rolls around, you are not going to drink the gin. You are going to make the mocktail. Now, why does this work? Well, the reason why this works is because you're using science to rehearse the new behavior or the new situation or the new thinking pattern and to encode it in your brain before you actually do it. And when you use your procedural memory to rehearse something that you want to have become a new habit or a new way of acting in your life, you're basically putting it in your long-term memory. Now, what is your procedural memory? Well, your procedural memory is the part of your brain that has stored all the motor skills, like writing, like picking up a glass and drinking, like walking. It is all stored in your procedural memory. The reason why you and I can walk without thinking about it, or talk, or skip, or brush our teeth is because we have rehearsed that sequence, that procedure, that series of events over and over and over again. And now it's locked into my brain, into my procedural memory. Now, here's what's really cool, everybody. Your brain doesn't know the difference between an event that you have closed your eyes and imagined and an event that you've actually done. And what's happening in your brain when I visualize myself making that mocktail step by step by step by step, is I am making connections between the gaps at the end of the neurons in my body, the synapses, and every time I either imagine that sequence of events or I practice it, we're making that connection between neurons stronger and stronger and stronger. And so here's what's really cool. What I just told you is manifesting. Seriously. Manifesting done correctly is when you use your procedural memory as a tool to train your brain, your nervous system, your spirit to help you feel motivated and to help you do the work that actually changes your life. How cool is that? I want to be very clear about something. Manifesting gets a bad rap because of the law of attraction. But manifesting is not woo-woo at all. It's not a cheesy topic. Manifesting is not just think about something that you want and suddenly it'll magically appear. No. Manifesting is when you use your procedural memory and you visualize the step by step by step actions that you need to take in order to make your big goal or the thing that you want or the new habit to become a reality. You see, manifesting isn't the end, everybody. Manifesting is the bridge. It's the series of actions that you're going to take in order to have this new habit. And when you rehearse something and when you encode it in your procedural memory, what actually happens is because it's now something that your brain recognizes, the walking to the other cabinet, not where the gin is, the opening up the fridge and grabbing the kombucha instead of grabbing the gin in the cabinet. When you rehearse this over and over, you are lowering the limbic friction, the friction in your mind, the resistance that you feel. You are lowering that resistance, and that is how manifesting helps you achieve your goals. So what are the 4 steps to manifesting properly? Number 1, we've already done that. You got to give yourself permission to dream with the lid off. And for many of you, this is going to be the hardest part. Seriously. You have held yourself back for so long, you don't even allow yourself to dream. And here's the thing, you're allowed to want things. You're allowed to want more for your life. In fact, you're wired this way. And part of what you need to do is you got to give yourself permission to want things again. I guarantee you that when some of you wrote down what you wanted, you shrunk it. You literally said, okay, I'm going to write down this little thing, but I'm going to make it really, really small because I'm worried that it's not going to happen. And so one of the things that I want you to do is I want you right now, dream with the lid off. If the manifesting that I'm teaching you removes the doubt, removes the fear, if it lowers the friction and the resistance that you feel to doing the work to get what you want, what is it that you dream of doing for real? Like I almost with you guys, I almost said, I'm going to launch one of the top podcasts in the world. I almost shrunk it down, everybody. But then I pushed through because I've been manifesting this. No, I'm launching the #1 female hosted podcast in the world, period. So what is it that you are interested in having? Like, don't shrink it down. Write down what you want, because this is step #1. And the reason why this is so important is because, you have a filter in your brain. You have a filter in your brain called the reticular activity system. And this filter works just like the Discover page on Instagram. So if you're ever on Instagram, and TikTok is the same way, there's the page where you can discover new accounts. And if you've ever noticed, What Instagram shows you on that mosaic and what TikTok shows you when you're kind of looking for new things are accounts that are just like the accounts that you follow. And that changes in real time all the time. So right now, my Discover page has a lot of accounts with nails because I've been growing my nails out. It has a lot of home design accounts because my husband and I are building our dream home here in the United States in southern Vermont. It has a lot of motivational accounts. And so it is reflecting back what I'm already looking at. One of the reasons why it's important for you to allow yourself and give yourself permission to want the things that you want without limiting it is because when you limit it, the filter in your brain pays attention and it limits what you see. When you start to give yourself permission to dream with the lid off, to just let your desires flow through you, then check this out. The filter in your brain changes in real time, just like the Discover page in Instagram, and it'll start showing you more of what you want. It's freaking cool. Now, you can practice what I'm saying two ways. Number one, there's a game that you can play that I call Find a Heart. Every single day, wake up and play this game where you're going to try to find a heart that is naturally occurring in the world around you. It could be a leaf, it could be a cloud, it could be a stain in your coffee. Tell your brain, show me a heart. And then look for hearts all day. And you'll be shocked because all of a sudden, you'll be walking past a building that you walk past every single day, and there, right on the side of the building, the coloration on the brick of the building, it is as plain as day. There is a freaking heart right there on the side of the building. You've missed it. You've walked past this building 1,000 times. It's been there the whole time. Why am I seeing it now? I'll tell you why. That Discover page in your brain, the filter in your brain, you told it you wanted to see hearts. Just like I've started looking at nails. And now suddenly the filter is showing you what's important to you. That's how your brain works. So one way you can start to do this is look for hearts. The second thing that you can do is you can start your day every morning in your journaling practice by writing down 5 things that you want. That's it. 5 things that you want. What do you want? You want a purse? You want a new job? You want a loving relationship? You want to feel happy again? You want to have more fun in your life? You want to finally be able to do a handstand? You want to be a best-selling, whatever you want. It can be the same thing every single day, or it could be new things every day. Because what you're doing when you give yourself permission to dream and to let those desires flow through you again is now what we're doing is we are letting you start to lead with your dreams. Literally, you can lower the resistance by inverting this and letting the dreams flow through you. Every day, look for a heart, write down 5 things that you want, and you are well on your way to step 1 of learning how to manifest properly. And that is, let the desire lead. Let the dreams flow through you. And that way your mind will start paying attention. The second step I've already given you an example of when I talked about visualizing making a mocktail step by step by step by step, all the way down to peeling the lime and twisting it and that little juice going off of it. That type of step by step by step encoding in your procedural memory is step number 2. The thing that most of us get wrong about manifesting is that we have this big dream, like publishing a book or launching a podcast, and all you dream about is the end. That's it. You miss the bridge between where you are and the thing that you want. And so let's use another metaphor, everybody, okay? Let's use the metaphor of running a marathon. So a marathon is 26.2 miles. How many of you have on your bucket list, someday it would be amazing to run and complete a marathon? That would be something pretty cool to do before I die. Now you may have a million excuses for why it's not going to happen, but just allow the dream to flow through you. Have you ever wanted to summit a mountain, Mount Kilimanjaro? Have you ever wanted to run, a marathon, something like a 5K? Doesn't matter. We're going to use this as a teaching tool. So let's say that your goal is to run a marathon, 26.2 miles, okay? The mistake that everybody makes is they literally visualize crossing the finish line. That's not how manifesting works. Manifesting, remember, is the bridge that's going to get you to the finish line. Manifesting is preparing you. It's like a training run. So what do you manifest? What do you visualize when you want to complete a marathon? You got to visualize the pain in the rear end stuff. You got to visualize running in the rain. Visualize your alarm going off at 5:30 in the morning. It's dark. It's cold. You don't want to get out of bed, but you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get out of bed. And then you visualize yourself pulling on your tights and the dog is looking at you. And you visualize walking through a quiet apartment or house. And then you visualize opening up the front door and, it's raining. And you visualize that you don't want to go outside and maybe you'll skip the run, but then you visualize grabbing your raincoat and going out that door. And then you know what you visualize? You visualize yourself at mile 7 on a training run and your earbuds, the batteries die. And you just want to give up. But guess what? You keep running. That's the kind of stuff that you visualize. You visualize the hard, the annoying, the stuff you don't want to do. If you want to make more money, you better visualize staying in on the weekends and working on your business instead of blowing your cash at the bar. If you want to have a different relationship with your spouse, you should visualize going to counseling or listening to books about how to improve your relationship and working on yourself. Seriously, you gotta visualize the hard stuff, okay? That's step 2. The step by step, by step, by step, by step, the path, the bricks along the way. Now, step 3 of visualizing correctly. Feel what you are visualizing. That procedural memory, step by step, by step, by step. Feel it in your body. What does it feel like to do this? You know, what's interesting is research from UCLA says that, visualization works because we are activating the part of the brain that you use when you're actually doing those actions. So you are rehearsing it before you even do it. And according to research from UCLA, this is why manifesting is so powerful. Okay, everybody? So again, step number 1, you got to give yourself permission to dream. And you're going to start training your spirit to lead. And you're going to start training the filter in your brain, the RAS, to help you get what you want. And you're going to do that by A, looking for hearts every single day, play a little game. And B, you're going to start your day by writing down 5 things that you want, just as an exercise to learn how to let your desires flow through you. Step number 2 of manifesting the correct way is you visualize the bridge, brick by brick by brick by brick, visualizing the steps that you're going to take along the way. This is how you encode the behavior into your procedural memory and thereby reduce the friction and resistance that you feel to taking those steps. Step number 3, you got to feel it in your body. Feel it in your body. This taps into your nervous system, everybody. So as you're taking these actions that are really difficult, you want to take the actions. And, and I see this question, but why visualize the heavy stuff? I'll tell you why. Because the hard stuff is what you're avoiding. The hard stuff is where your doubt comes in. The really difficult things is where you come up with excuses and reasons not to do it. And so we're going to lower your resistance, your excuses, your fear, your anxiety, which raises your courage, your confidence, and your brain's ability to help you get moving. Because you're not going to change your life by simply thinking about what you want. You change your life by changing the actions that you take. And right now, the difficult, the hard, the heavy, the irritating, the annoying, you got a bazillion reasons for why you're not doing that stuff. And so we're going to use manifesting to lower your resistance internally to doing the hard, the heavy, the awful stuff. So when you feel yourself walking out that door at 5:45 in the morning with your rain jacket on and going for that run when you didn't feel like it, I also want you to feel proud of yourself for doing it, okay? That's what you do. When you visualize yourself staying in and working on your business plan, instead of spending money that you need to save or invest in your business, feel proud of yourself as you are rehearsing that in your mind. That's a really important step in this. And this is, your brain is visualizing you taking action, but now your body also is tapping into the pride that you feel when you do something that's really hard. Now, the fourth step of manifesting, do the work. All that stuff that you're visualizing, you got to use my 5-second rule, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and push yourself to take the actions. It's not sexy like The Secret of just thinking about this stuff and expecting it to come to you. You got to do the little things brick by brick by brick and take the actions that lay the groundwork for this change. And, here's the thing that's super cool about it. When you do this and you start practicing this skill and you use manifesting as a tool, you are training your mind, your body, and your spirit to align with what you want instead of resisting it and being afraid of it. And when you align your mind, body, and spirit with what you want, you will be naturally inspired and motivated and empowered to take the actions to walk toward it. That's why this works. You want to be a travel blogger, it sounds like.
Yes. Right.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Does that scare you?
Not at all. I'm pushing myself quite a lot. Even before my parents passed, I had the goal, okay, I want to make my illustration job and so on. But here's the thing.
Tell me the thing.
I'm doing this since, like I said, I draw for more years now, but I started the online business 2021. So
yeah.
And I'm not making that much income. Sometimes there are months where I'm making nothing. And that's totally fine because I'm at the beginning. I also have, that's also good to know, I have an Instagram. I have a YouTube channel. I love making videos. I'm learning so much. I started TikTok. I have my homepage. I'm writing blog posts. Mel, I also wrote a blog post about you.
Oh. I'll have to read it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question, because there's a huge theme here. You guys noticing the theme with everybody? You guys all have lots of stuff going on. And that's an important thing if you need to have a lot of stuff going on to make ends meet. Mm. And I love that you're saying that your illustrations and that store is at the very beginning of the process, and that's going to take time. That's true. But here's what I don't hear. What do you want your life to look like?
I want this to go pretty well. I want to be able, like I wrote, I want to be able to travel. And my goal is to make this happen next year. And
So what do you mean by travel? See, the other thing I'm going to keep pointing out to everybody is that before you can figure out the plan or the map to get where you want to go, you got to pick your head up and point at what you want. And the more specific the destination, the better. it is impossible to give you great guidance and coaching if I don't know exactly what you want. Because here's the thing, if you really wanted life where you travel, I can tell you 10 travel bloggers that you should follow. You can stalk their stories, and with your skills, you could probably be making money and doing that full time in a matter of 3 to 6 months, because there are magazines that are looking for freelancers to do that. Once you get with one hotel, they connect you with another hotel. Once you start tagging people, cafes, it is one of those things that builds. You've told me you have no debt, that you have savings, that you have a job that is 12 hours a week that is not keeping you somewhere. So what do you actually want?
I know when I do this next year. So my first goal is to go to Japan again for 3 months.
Okay.
And I know that at my part-time job, they won't let me go and say, okay, it's unpaid vacation. And when you come back here, you can start again. So I know, okay, it's kind of.
So here's what's interesting. You ready?
Yeah.
I'm going to push you a little bit.
Yeah, please.
Do you have, is that house that you're sitting in a place that you own that you have to pay for?
Nope, it's a flat. And it's the flat of my best friend. And I have to pay such less money.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Your whole life is organized around what's happening at this 12-hour week job.
Yes, exactly.
Do you know why I'm pointing that out?
No.
We are in the single best job market in 40 years.
What was my best job?
No. This is the best job market in 40 years. People cannot find people to work.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
What I'm trying to tell you is that you're organizing your entire life around a part-time job.
I know where you're going.
Where am I going?
Yeah, I have the exact same thought. They are
No, but where am I
jobs.
going? Where am I going? I'm going to push you.
There are shitty jobs out there everywhere. I can.
There's a shitty job in Japan waiting for you.
Yeah, everywhere. I know. Yeah.
Your issue is courage.
Yeah. That's fun because courage is one of my things that I'm keeping pushing myself. Okay. Yeah.
Prove it.
Yeah. That's right.
I have a feeling that you holding on to where you are has to do with grieving.
Grieving, and maybe, okay, my because I have a partner and he also lives here. But I think we can maybe hopefully figure something out.
Elena?
Yeah.
Hope is for children on Christmas morning who hope that they're going to get a certain present. You are a 33-year-old brilliant woman who has taken control of her healing, who has figured out how to set up an entire business around your illustrations. You have paid off your debt. You have savings. We are no longer in a game of hope. We are in the business of creating a life that's amazing. And that begins the moment you wake up and go, what the fuck am I doing? I'm worried about this job. I am going to call a meeting tonight with my partner, and I'm going to say, here's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We are going to reinvent our lives. Fuck it. Let's figure out how to go to Japan for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Because this shitty job's going to be here, and so is this flat when we decide we don't like it. And if I burn through my savings trying to figure something out because I can't figure out how to make that work, then I'll just save more money.
Yeah.
You have nothing to lose.
I'm writing courage big on
Courage. And
Yeah.
courage means action.
Yeah.
You're
That's
going to feel afraid, but this is the day.
No, that's normal growth.
You're not going to grow in that flat, and you're
Yeah.
not going to grow next year. And I'm not
And-
going to allow you to wait another year.
Yeah, and this is exactly what I'm feeling. Every time I wake up, I'm doing my stuff, and I'm doing quite a lot of stuff. And I wrote it also to you. Wait, let me point this
Yeah,
out.
I
because
saw it. I
this-
don't need this. You don't need that. I don't need
Yeah.
this story. I don't care how much you're doing. You're doing the wrong stuff.
Yeah,
I'm fucking busy too. And for a long time, it was the wrong stuff, which is why I
Yeah.
was miserable.
the only thing I felt why I feel so why I ask you if it's a naive or so, because I'm not making that much income or not at all income now. This is
Who cares?
why yeah.
Who cares? So you're not making a lot of income, which only means if you stay in the place that you're in, you're going to stay trapped because you don't have enough income. You're not going to have enough income next year either.
Yeah.
Take a risk, live a
Mm.
little. You can come back to this.
Yeah. This was exactly what I was feeling the whole time. And
Well, I hope this is exactly what you do,
yeah.
because feeling it, unless it activates action,
Yeah.
you might as well just fart, because it doesn't do anything. Like, it just is like, you need to get frustrated and
Yeah.
say, I'm done with this. I am sick of myself. In fact, let's pick a date right now. What day are you going to Japan or going to another country or quitting this job? Give me the day. Let's commit publicly right now. It's March 22nd.
March or April.
Give me a date. Let's pull the calendar.
Okay, let's say April the 1st.
April 1st? Hell yes. All right, great. You're going to keep
Okay.
us posted on where you're doing and what your plan is.
I will.
Will you put Glow Autonomo, her account, in the in Instagram? Thank you. She started travel blogging, I think 7 years ago. And really amazing woman, really good friend of mine, super inspiring.
Okay.
Follow her. She'll give you
Okay.
tips. And I think on her YouTube channel, she's got all kinds of stuff about how to get started. She's killer.
I also haven't found an illustrator who does this, because I would love to.
Great. So, see,
Incorporate both.
listen, I think your ideas are incredible. Go do them.
Okay. Right.
Here's an illustration. You ready?
Yeah.
Give us an illustration of the moment that you got off your ass and quit that job. And then give us an illustration of you like buying the plane ticket. And then give us an illustration of how scared you are as you see the savings go down a little. And then
Yeah.
give us an illustration of what your partner looks like when he's like, wait, what? We're going where? And then give us an illustration of your first day in Japan.
Yeah.
And then take us on the journey with you.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. You're awesome. Hey, it's Mel. Thank you so much for checking this video out. And if you like this one, I have a feeling you're going to like this one too. I'll see you there.